So last night I saw the movie Atomic Blonde. Now, before going to the movie, I didn't know it was based on a graphic novel. The only thing I really knew about was as essentially a spy movie, as they were comparing it to Jason Bourne, and it starred Charlize Theron and James McAvoy. Now, these are two of my favorite actors, so I was really excited to go see the movie. And while the movie is good, it's not as spectacular as I was kind of expecting it to be. I really do like spy movies. It kind of had the same vibe as John Wick. I absolutely love John Wick, so I was pretty excited to kind of get that vibe, especially how the director of this film is also uncredited director of John Wick 1. So I was excited going into the film, and while I enjoyed the film, looking back to it, it wasn't as kind of mind-blowing as I left the cinema thinking. So I really like Charlize Theron as this character. She's this massive badass, and she kind of tries to be emotionless, but at the same time you can see that she really does care. So I enjoy her character, I enjoyed her performance, but the standout for me actually was James McAvoy. Like, his character was more interesting and kind of hard to read at times. And I know that it's a female-led movie, so people are probably going to be pissed at, like, that I think James McAvoy is the standout. But I honestly do think that. Like, Charlize Theron is amazing, and Sofia Boutella, and their scenes, like, together they're amazing. And, like, both actresses are incredible. But I just found James McAvoy's character really hard to read and understand at times, and I found myself drawn to his character more. So with saying that, I found the storyline very interesting and very predictable, except I wanted to know more information about him. So, with saying that, the film relies a little too much on music at the beginning of the film to kind of draw intensity to the scenes and the characters around them. Where towards the end of the film, it really picks up and starts kicking ass because Charlize Theron's character is fighting, and they're just using that. They're using the fighting as the sounds. They're kind of using the grunt work. There's no background music. There's no really background noise of anyone, just the fighting scene. And the fighting's really realistic. Like, they're beating the shit out of each other, and it gets to the point where they're tired and just can't stand up. And most films don't do that. So I was really impressed by the fighting scenes in this film. Charlize Theron is incredible doing her own stunts. I've seen her with videos training, and she's incredible. It reminds me so much of Keanu Reeves training for John Wick. And I feel like this is where a lot of my comparison comes from, because I kept comparing it to John Wick, as that is kind of my standard top film of how they use the scenery background to kind of show the blood spatter and kind of the music and the flashing. Like, that was kind of a lot of my comparisons came from with this movie, because they use a lot of the same techniques with the clubs and the blood splatter on the walls, and just so a lot of the same techniques I saw through this film came from John Wick Chapter 2. So if you've seen both films, you'll kind of understand what I'm talking about. The one thing I didn't really like about this film, but also kind of like I'm kind of mixed. They kind of bring in a love story. So I wasn't really into the love story, because I've kind of gotten used to spy movies not really bothering with the love story anymore. Again, this probably comes back to John Wick, because there's no love story in John Wick other than obviously his mourning of his his wife. So obviously, like, there is kind of a love story, but it's not focused upon, when this kind of felt like it was focused on. But at the same time, I really enjoyed their relationship. I really enjoyed their scenes together and kind of how it brought out the more human side of her. So I'm kind of conflicted of, like, I'm sick of movies being about love stories, but now I'm kind of really enjoy it. Yeah, I really did enjoy Atomic Blonde. I just found myself comparing it so much to John Wick, because maybe it was just because John Wick Chapter 2 came out this year, because it only just came out recently for Australia, and I'm just really obsessed with that movie. So I found, like, myself comparing it a lot. At one point, I actually thought they were the exact same directors, but it turns out he's just an uncredited director for the first. But he's actually a producer and executive producer for John Wick Chapter 2 and 1. So I just feel like John Wick influenced this movie so much. And that means nothing. Like, I have no bad qualms with Charlize Theron. She is amazing in this movie. She's amazing as this character. James McAvoy does a great job. John Goodman does a great job. Sofia Boutella. Everyone does a fantastic job. The characters are interesting. I just found the storyline to be lacking. I feel like it builds up so much and then it kind of skips over the ending and then skips to something else. I just feel like, I don't know, they could have done more with the ending, especially because the ending was really predictable, so I feel like they could have just added something extra. Yeah, my favourite thing about the film was the stunts. I absolutely love the stunts, especially when they're just fighting and there's no other background sound. My lowest point for the film is kind of, they just brush over a character kind of at the start. They basically just show their relationship in a photograph, and I feel like it could be extended upon a bit more. And then I definitely don't like kind of that they kind of went onto this romance storyline, because I feel like they didn't need it. Like, they could show this badass character without needing it, but at the same time, what it represents is also really good, and I bet if it's in the graphic novel now, of course, it's great. But yeah, I did like Atomic Blonde. When I saw it, I left the cinema thinking this was amazing, and then I read up on some more of it last night. I'm like, oh yeah, it's still a really good film, and then thinking about it today, I'm like it does copy a lot. So if you're into that kind of spy movie, I wouldn't exactly compare it to Jason Bourne or James Bond. I really don't see that comparison at all. I definitely see the comparison to John Wick. So if you're a fan of John Wick, I highly recommend going to see it. If you're a fan of Charlize Theron and James McAvoy, definitely go see it. Yeah, like, it'd be interesting to see if they made a sequel of where they would take this storyline and this character. But I feel like the way they ended it, it'd kind of be pointless, because they just, like I said, they kind of just skip over certain parts and go straight to an ending and then go straight to another part without really concluding it. So let me know in your thoughts if you like the movie, if you hate the movie. Maybe you hate John Wick and you really love this one. So let me know your thoughts, and my next video will probably be The Big Sick, as I'm seeing that tonight. So thank you as always for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!